Today's show is going to be a little bit impromptu, but not too much. I felt compelled to make this video because I'm fired up. Right now, I'm in my t-shirt. I just got back from the gym, lifting them weights, doing my squats, getting in the best shape of my life at the age of 38. And it feels good. And I'm fired up. So I said, we have to do a show. We got to do an episode now because we fired up. But I wanted to follow up my last video with a little bit more context, a little bit more information on my situation and on what you, gentlemen, should be expecting if you haven't already gone through some kind of custody trial. I want to let you know now, I am not one of those channels. This is not one of those channels. We are not one of those channels that is trying to paint the picture of if you do this, you will win. Just follow my lead or the steps that I teach you and you will win. That's not what this channel is for. There are other channels like that. And I'm going to share some of those channels later on because some of those channels help me even create the strategy, help me even think of the aspects of my case in the trial in ways that I would have never thought of. When I combine the education that I got from these people, along with my own studies, my own research, talking with lawyers, I got a full scope. But the problem with the family court system is no matter what people tell you, even those that can speak on behalf of the actual jurisdiction that you're in, whatever that is, the day of your trial is the day of your trial. You don't know. You will not know until you get to that day. So you have to prepare regardless. But just know, I'm giving you a forewarning, fellas. I'm keeping it all the way real with you. All the way real. That you have to expect the unexpected and you have to be willing to follow up and object or appeal. Because the court system, the family court business is rigged. Anybody else tells you differently, they're lying to you. You're fighting an uphill battle, especially if the woman doesn't want you to have the child and she's making false accusations. Well, for them, that's an easy win. But you can't make it easy for them, even if they win on the first round. So I want to show you, I want to share with you some of the things that I went through because my fight isn't over. And that's the difference between this channel and other channels, is that I want you to join the journey. I want you to become a part of versus the aftermath on how things turned out. That's where I'm at right now. So it's a great time because I'm post my first custody trial. I've just had my first custody trial and I had 2 dates. So right now I'm in between my custody and child support while objecting to the outcome of the custody. Okay? I just want to let you know that's where I'm at as of today, as of the day of or the time frame of this video, because I'm going to post this video pretty much immediately. So the time frame of this video, I'm in between the result of my first custody trial and the child support. And I'm also objecting to the ruling of the corrupt custody trial. Keyword is corrupt. But let me paint this picture for you. So join me. Let's dive in real quick. Let's dive in. Let me change things up real quick. And let me show you, because like I said, I'm going to paint some pictures for you. This is how it starts. It's a battle. It's you versus the mother. I wanted to create a diagram or a picture. I don't know I forgot the term to call this, but I wanted to create something to actually paint the picture. Like, this is literally what the course is. Now, I ain't no drawer. I ain't no Picasso or nothing like that, yo. I just pulled out Canva and start puzzling pieces and, you know what I'm saying, putting stuff together and stuff so I can paint this picture for y'all. So obviously, these aren't real pictures, the real people involved, all right? But y'all get it, okay? It's a reenactment. Here's the mother, and here's me, the father. That's what it is. That's how it starts. Now let's add in a magistrate. And the images that I'm using, they might not really be the people, but they are the actual gender and races I'm using. I made sure to be accurate in that. So you all see the full picture and don't think, oh, Maestro just making stuff up because he's bitter. Who hurt you? Oh, you must have did something. Those of y'all who think that way, I'm not even gonna address you, okay? But we have a magistrate, a mother, and a father. And I'm gonna tell you right now, all the way right now, this is how I feel. This is my damn channel. It's interesting because I had this thought and I was watching somebody else's. It just came across my timeline. And I had this thought, for those of y'all who don't know, about feminism and the waves of feminism and how it was indoctrinated, it was used to fuel. And here's what I believe and what I can factually back up and what actually happened in my own case. How ironic that it all lined up to be the thing, but yet somebody's still gonna say, no, that ain't true. That's just you. When it comes to feminism, I believe that white liberal women are some of black men's worst enemies. Some of y'all might got offended by that. Some of y'all might be hurt by that. I don't care. And I'm gonna show you and share with you why I believe so. So we're starting off here. The magistrate was a white woman. We're starting there. My child's mother, African American, but she's still a woman. And she's obviously a feminist. The magistrate is also a feminist. So it starts there. Let's move on. So the mother hired a lawyer. She actually hired two lawyers, both feminists, both scrupulous, evil lawyers. They also lied. It's not defamation if I'm telling the truth. They all lied. I have actual factual evidence. They all lied. On and off record, they all lied. So yes, the mother's lawyer, her first lawyer for the custody trial, was white. The magistrate was a white female. The lawyer was a white female. Uh-oh, but it doesn't stop there. But wait, there's more. Bring in the court reporter, who so happens to also be a white female. So now we have 4 females in total on this case, and 3 out of the 4 females are white, liberal, feminist women. If you don't know where I'm going with this so far, you might want to catch up. So let's move on. Now bring in the non-objective, unbiased, also lying, feminist Guardian Ad Litem, aka the gal. They brought in the gal. And her job, well, she's supposed to be the appointed attorney of my daughter. The one that I didn't hire. The courts brought her on for the alley-oop. But what she ends up doing is writing false reports, creating false narratives to help prop the mother's testimony. Because the mother doesn't have any proof of her accusations. So what they do is they bring in a Guardian Ad Litem, because the Guardian Ad Litem is supposed to have more rapport with the magistrate, because the magistrate can't go to the homes of the parents and check everything out and see what's going on. So they bring on this other person to do so they can write a report and give the reports. It's a cop-out. It's corruption. It's alley-oops. It's judicial technicalities and bullshit. So right now, it looks like, I mean, unless I'm making this up. Now, I could be making this up, just for the clicks and likes and stuff, and somebody probably thinks I am making this up. Again, I'm probably bitter. But it looks like so far, we have 5 women on the case. I mean, am I counting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And out of the 5, we have 4 white, liberal, feminist women. Now, somebody's probably going, Maestro, how do you know they're liberal? And how do you know they're feminists? Bruh. I don't have my daughter right now. That's how I know. And I didn't do anything illegal. They found nothing that I did that was bad. Everything that they founded was based on mother's accusations and her testimony only. No evidence, no findings. And to answer your question, yes, if you ain't hurt as a father that your children are being taken, stolen by thieves, and then extorted for money, if you ain't hurt, you ain't human. So you can stop with that shaming shit. And then last but not least, oh my God, the last one of all, the one who gave me some of the most. After I represented myself for my trial, for majority of my trial, collected all this evidence, did all the responses, had to do everything myself, call the clerk's office to see what kind of paperwork were they pushing today, what kind of cheats were they trying to do today. I ended up at the last minute when I got a little bit of money, I hired a lawyer. And I thought hiring a black female lawyer would be a good idea. Now, I know somebody's listening to this. I know, fellas, I know. But let me, hold on. Can I, give me a little bit of grace. Or don't. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? Hold me accountable. I ain't mad at that, okay? But I thought that this person would understand. My mindset was, oh, well, if I hire a woman, maybe the woman could kind of use her womanly ways to speak some sense into these, and they can see, well, I'm not a woman hater. Why would I hire a woman if I really hated women? But that doesn't matter. You can still, I guess, hate women and hire. I don't know. That was my thing. Okay, let me show that. Okay, I have a daughter. I love my daughter. You know what I'm saying? I'm hire women. I help women. I have women clients. Let me show them that it don't matter. It didn't matter. Just like nothing else I did mattered. They had their teeth sunk in. They had their minds made up. And the reason why you see an X on this lawyer, she didn't even show up to my custody trial. She withdrew the day before. So I ended up having to go to my day two of my custody trial. Day 1, I couldn't afford. I did everything myself up until day 1 of the custody trial. After day 1, because we had to do a continued trial to make it a second date so that they can do more corruption. And they did. They did it so they can do more corruption. I said, okay, well, they're creating a whole bunch of new narratives now. After this new trial, I need to hire because they're not letting me speak. Because I'm not in the club. I have all this evidence that they're keeping out, which I'm about to show you in a second. And they're not letting me admit evidence. They're not letting me finish my testimony. Oh, I know what this is. So I thought hiring a lawyer, a female lawyer, would get me a little bit of leeway. It got me nothing in terms of my custody trial, but a bill. Nothing but a bill. And I'm addressing that as well, but I can't speak more on that right now. So, with that being said, I'm hoping I paint this picture for you all of what it can seriously look like for you. And for you all, anybody watching this, to say that we have met the apex of equality, that this is equality, this is what the United States should look like, that this is how we should hold the fate of our children. So let's connect more dots, because I know somebody's probably getting lost right now. Somebody's probably not connecting the dots and they're getting lost. So let me connect more dots for you. I got another window open. I'm gonna show you real quick, okay? Let's go here. Boom. So now you're seeing my exhibit list. I know some of y'all probably didn't watch the last video, so I'm gonna quickly go to my motions and filings just so I can show you I initiated everything for my daughter. How many men are willing to file this much stuff? How many? Do you have the balls to file this much stuff? Does your attorney have the balls to file this much stuff for your child or children? So these are my motions and filings, and this is not even everything. I stopped at 22 because I gotta finish up adding to this. After a while, your head does hurt. Sometimes you do need a break, but you can't take a break for too long because they always got their gas. I mean, they foot on the pedal too. Evil don't sleep. So here's my exhibit list right here. I had literally exhibits in all shapes, forms, and sizes, up to 66 exhibits that I documented, I recorded, and I got it on the docket, meaning I got it filed in with the clerk. And not only that, you have to bring copies at trial. You got to bring copies to trial. Let me give you a little tip here. If it's an audio or video copy, you got to bring a device. And you have to bring like a thumb drive to give to the judge and magistrate, at least at my jurisdiction. Maybe it's different for you. And double check. I'm not, anything I tell you, double check, fellas. Double check. But bring a copy. If it's a audio or video, it needs to be on a physical thing. So what I did was I got a thumb drive, gave it to it didn't mean anything at the end of the day, but for me to be procedurally accurate. What I mean by it didn't mean anything, they still corrupted. They still cheated. They still ignored it. But because it's on record, I can bring it up from an objection or appeal standpoint. You know what I'm saying? Because it was documented. I can't say a record. They keep it off the record, but because it was documented, I can bring up that they kept it off the record. But double check with your lawyer, double check with your laws, okay? Just double check with your laws and your lawyers. But as you can see, I filed a lot. I mean, I sent in a lot of exhibits. Guess how many exhibits the mother sent in? 1. Text messages. So you mean to tell me, after all these exhibits, you see I even got the type here: email, photo, text, image, video, documents, audio, court filings. I got all types of, and the way that I did this, for those of y'all who don't remember or didn't see the last video, I used AI. So use AI to help you formulate some stuff. It can make you tables. It can take your stuff. Just use it. ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity. I use all 4. Those are the core 4: ChatGPT, Claude, Perplexity, Gemini, the core 4. So use those. All right. And so you see these exhibits. Now let's go here. Let me show you the faces, because I'm going to connect these dots for someone who still don't believe or believe. Look at the judges here. This is the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas Juvenile Division. This is public information, so nothing here I'm showing is something that you can't find or research on your own. Here are the judges in this division. We have the judges here. We have the judges here. You can see. Then there's magistrates underneath them, right? Magistrates right here. Magistrates right here. Okay, so what I did was I copied this. I copied all that, popped it in the ChatGPT, and I said, give me the ratio of female to male judges and magistrates. Let's see what it said. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Oh, come on, man. Oh, that sucks. All right. Either way, I'll try to see if I can make it better. Matter of fact, hold on. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Because for some reason, there we go. All right, there we go. Sometimes we just got to do it live. We'll do it live, even though this ain't live. But as you can see here, it named 27, it listed. And then the ratio, it came out to be, 15 females, 12 male magistrates. I skipped the judges, my bad. And then judges, 6 total. We saw 4 and 2. That was an easy one right there. So 4 to 2, 2 to 1. And then we have 15 to 12 or a 5 to 4 simplified. Does that look like there's more male judges and magistrates to you? Or does it look like it's more female magistrates and judges to you? Here's a picture if you still can't get the picture. We see female, female, male, male. Interesting. Now, Maestro, let's go make this correlation again. Why would you assume, why would you think, why would you come up with the theory that you came up with at the beginning, saying that you believe that white liberal women are some of black men's worst enemies? And it's not all women. I'm saying specifically white liberal feminist women. It's because they brainwashed, or excuse me, they were a part of the brainwashing of the black woman. Now, it doesn't matter what race you are when it comes to this situation. When you're a man, they gonna try to put it up where the sun don't shine on you anyway. But I'm just being more specific because there is a disparity, and I am an African-American, so I would be stupid not to at least bring that up. However, men, it don't matter what color you are, it ain't no excuse. Men are getting the short end of the stick anyway. But I still had to add this nuance into it as well because they're messing it up for everybody. For everybody. So what I'm saying is how interesting that we have all these white women here on my trial personally, and then here the ratio outside of my trial, just statistically, in the jurisdiction says, well, there's more female than male judges. Now let's really connect the dots, y'all. Over here, we have some stats, some data, and I tried to use this as an exhibit and evidence too. Guess what they did? The magistrate said I couldn't admit this as evidence because the author of this statistics wasn't here. So I tried to hit her with it's self-authenticating evidence. That was an illegal move on her part right there. Because, I mean, if I just use rational, I don't even got to use law, and I'm not a lawyer. Are you telling me that of all the cases that have happened, when people brought up stats, that the author of the person who wrote that stat was in trial that day and that's why it got admitted? Or are you trying to pull some shit? And it says down here, I know y'all can't see, so let me see if I can blow it up a little bit. This was written by a combination of the U.S. Census Bureau in 2024. So this is not far off. 2024. And the National Fatherhood Initiative. Right here. Kids that don't have their fathers. The father's absence crisis in America. They're greater risk of poverty, more likely to have behavioral problems, greater risk of infant mortality. They're more likely to go to prison. They're more likely to commit crime. They're more likely to become pregnant as a teen. They're more likely to face abuse and negligence. They're more likely to abuse drugs and alcohol. They're more likely to suffer obesity. They're more likely to drop out of school. So if we are saying that fathers not being in the home creates the more likelihood of these negative factors, so many negative factors, and we have a single mother epidemic happening right now, let alone America is just fucked up, and yet we're not correlating the fact that right here in your boy, his own case, white women. And here goes the stats. Well, when the child is with the father, it don't matter if they're a boy or a girl, they're less likely to be involved in these negative issues. Why are we still putting these people in position? Unless it's being done intentionally to keep creating the what? The Title 4D money. Child support. You keep the child away from the father, you maximize child support. It's very simple. You keep the child away from the father, they keep getting paid because they get a little percentage off of every dime, every penny that goes through, that you have to pay through their system, because remember, it ain't child support if you give it to the mother. Remember, they don't count that as child support. That's gifts. They wanted to go through their system so they can take their little cut. Somebody ain't following, somebody is. So I'm not an expert in this information. I'm not at all. I have so much more to learn, so much room to grow. I'm in the journey. I just wanted to start I wanted to start video documenting, video educating, creating resources, and just some steps for you all from a position of, I guess, being closer to maybe where you're at right now. Maybe I'm just a little further ahead, but I'm not on the other end of the rainbow yet. And I ain't talking about that community either. I ain't on the other end of the grass, the fence. I ain't on that green pasture, not just yet. Not yet. But we gonna get there. And I wanna let you know you can get there too. You may not win round 1. It may take round 2. It may take round 3. I can tell you right now, it ain't gonna be infinite rounds. You're not about to dry me dead. Not mentally. No. And I believe my daughter, I believe she's going to be curious, and she's going to want to do her research, and she's going to want to know. And when things don't add up the way the picture was painted for her through mama and everybody else around her, something's going to feel off. Because it don't matter what I do. The obstruction is going to continue to happen. I could share my story. I cannot share my story. The obstruction is still going to be there. So I said, you know what? Share it. She can get madder. They can get madder. They can do whatever they want. Share it. Because somebody else is going to learn from this, and somebody's going to come back to me one day and say, Maestro, if it wasn't for you and Preme Preggo and that damn channel, I would have never had a leg up on my case to be able to see the things I didn't see or I didn't know, and then I did my own. That's it. That's all I want to do, because the gentlemen and some women, very few, that share the message with me, I have to give them some gratitude and be grateful, because I wouldn't know. So it'd be selfish for me not to share it with you. And again, I'm not a young buck. I'm 38. So I'm a late bloomer in the fatherhood world. And that's why this means so much to me, because I've done so much to bring myself up, to take myself to a place to where I can afford to be a father. I can afford to be a provider. And they don't want you to do that. They don't want to be on your program. They want the results of your program, but don't want to be under your leadership. Isn't that kind of funny? Somehow I can create a program like I'm doing right now, and to be able to make finances and bring in income and run a business. Somehow I can have a program that works, but you don't want to be under my program? But you want the results of my program? You gotta make it make sense. You gotta make it make sense, man. Nah, it don't make no sense to me. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show y'all. I wanted to share this with y'all, that I practice what I preach. I know I might sound a little preachy or whatever, I don't care. That's me. I'm so in tune with myself. That's me. I speak for a living. I speak around the world. I speak around my city. I speak around the United States of America. I teach online. So speaking is in my blood. That's why I felt it was, I used the word felt, didn't I? That's why I believe it's a duty for me to share this with you guys and speak up and speak out, even though my story ain't done yet, and even though it can be used against me. I'm going to feel so much better that somebody got to their children because I helped. That's all. So yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted to share with y'all. I told y'all I was fired up. You got to give it down the mark. That one is mud. Man, I came from the gym. I've been hitting that gym, gentlemen. If you ain't in that gym, especially while you're going through this stuff and you're not making this a second job, a part-time job, you're wasting your time. You got to go to the gym. You got to work out. You got to make this a part-time job. Seriously. You got to get sleep. You got to eat right, because they're going to try to drain you mentally. One of the channels that I got some consultations from, and I'll share all my, resources later. Okay. I don't want to overwhelm y'all, but I learned this from his channel, and I'm sure he learned this from other people's stuff, but it's the war of attrition. That stuck with me. It's a war of attrition. They want to wear the other party down through time, distance, and resources. So you're going to have to detach yourself from that time. Don't worry about the distance and get your resources up, because it's the war of attrition, gentlemen. And that's it. My name is Maestro with Preme Prego, and I'm out. Peace.